Greetings everyone, 'tis I, Demonic Grimshin. And, well, Valentine's Day is upon us. I'm still single, so yeah, I'm drinking my sorrows away through Kool-Aid. Yeah, I don't drink, so. And I love the taste of Kool-Aid, so it's practically my alcohol. And, of course, this is a surprise review, and, I'll explain more after the credits, because this one's going to be rather lengthy. So many of you are probably wondering where my Sonic the Hedgehog image crossover review is. Oh, I'll get around to that one, don't worry. I've just been busy with other things, and my scheduling is pretty piss poor. So, I'm doing this one, because, yet again, Valentine's Day is upon us. So, Alice 19th. Alice 19th is a manga that was written by Yu Watase, who's best known for her work Exterior Celestial Legends, which of course is an anime. The series was published in 2001 and ran until April 2003 as it borrowed influences from Chinese history. As to what? Well, I'm not gonna lie, Wikipedia is not very clear on that. And as you will soon see, there are elements in this story that are borrowed from Alice in Wonderland. But if you have the manga yourself, Yu Watase says in the side notes that she kind of wanted to put a little emphasis on the power of words in this story. You're gonna see why in a minute, not to mention why this is one of my favorite shoujo manga. Our story begins, of course, with Alice texting on her phone to some anonymous person expressing her feelings for a boy she knows named Kyo, and how she hasn't exactly told him how she feels, and I didn't drink. Okay, I can do this. After we're treated to our typical opening chapter page, Alice is sitting in her desk, probably passed out from doing too much homework, as she has her cell phone in her hand as she begins to wake up. Realizing that it's past 7 o'clock, Alice runs to her sister's room to wake her up for her archery practice, which she is apparently late for. Afterwards, we're treated to the typical older sister mocking the younger sister as Mayura rushes to get dressed for archery practice, and we get to see a little bit of their parents as they seem to be lackadaisical in their habit of parenting before Mayura rushes out the door, or skipping breakfast, apparently, again. And of course Mayura, or Alice rather, is a little perturbed at her older sister's inability to wake herself up. Like, I don't know how that feels. Of course, that is past tense, but we need to move on. As Mayura runs around like a chicken with her head cut off, Alice bothers to ask once again if she can have a pet, to which her father declines because, you know, her older sister's allergic to animals. You know, the usual pet dander and all that jazz. So I'm safe to assume by this, as Mayura runs out the door, or apparently with perfect makeup as Alice bothers to observe in a surprised fashion. We get a little bit of inner dialogue from Alice saying that being the younger sibling obviously does not have the benefits and claims that for it to have. To which my response is, from my experience, bullcrap! But, to each his own. So while making her way to school, or so I'm led to assume, she spots a bunny in the middle of a crossroad as it looks at her. Oh, this bunny is very important, don't worry, it's just why in the middle of a crossroad? Oh, right, so Alice can hear their thoughts as we're basically treated to the semblance of the following. We should do something. Should we do something? Leave it there, it's roadkill. Why, that poor bunny. Why would a bunny wind up at the end of the street? We should do something. Should we do something? Yeah. Let's move on. So on direct impulse, Alice decides to ignore all the whispering voices in her head as she dives towards the car that charges towards the poor bunny. And in doing so, a strange symbol appears behind her as the bunny has its attention turned towards her. A bright flash of light radiates from Alice, blinding the driver of the oncoming car, and I'm sorry if that sounds dirty in any shape or form. And upon grabbing the bunny, she faces the car head-on, only to get rescued in the next page. By whom? Kiyo Wakamiya, aka our love interest for this story, aka the boy of her dreams. You know, the boy she mentioned that she had feelings for at the beginning of the book. And before you jump to conclusions that he might be like Edward Cullen, relax, he's pretty human and for a love interest, which will be made apparent later on in the story. Hey, wait a minute. What? Okay, I'm sorry to fixate on this, but it's just that these scans of which I've obtained are a lot different from the translation of my copy that I have, which I sadly am unable to find. Here he says there's no reason to be shocked, and the copy that I have he asks if she's alright. But still, there's no reason to be shocked. Dude, do you not understand how she feels for you? Ugh. Seriously? Really, guys? Really? 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 Next page. Doesn't really matter anyway, the dialogue from these side characters still is ridiculous. In my copy, they say something like, hey, something's wrong with the street lights, that driver needs a ticket, and of course the usual, are you okay? But, jeez, wow. I'm surprised at this. But anyway, of course, there's Seno, or Kyo asks if Alice is okay. She replies yes, and then of course. So they walk to school together as Alice talks to the bunny, saying how lucky it is for having to be saved from such a grim fate of getting turned into street pizza. And of course she gets to talk to Kyo for a little bit, at which point she finds it rather enjoyable. Oh, before he makes it a point that he finds it strange that she was the only one who ran out to save the bunny, at which point he says that when she heard all the bad comments that the people were saying, she just had to go on impulse and save the poor thing. To which point he states the obvious and says, no one spoke. Creepy, isn't it? To which point the bunny bites Alice, as she assumes that the bunny is hungry, and she proceeds to buy carrots, before telling Kyo to go ahead on to school without her. to which he decides to stay put, which, I'm sorry to put it this way, excites her. So as we're treated to more character development and relationship build-up, we learn that there was supposedly no archery class that day, at which point Mayura was, well, not only late, but she wound up there on their day off, to which Kyo remarks that's just like her. Why does it sound like Kyo is heavily acquainted with Alice and her sister? Childhood friendships. I'm sorry, that's all I'm giving you. So then the bunny grabs the carrot and just runs off as Alice chases after it. Kyo proceeds to follow, but apparently they forgot to pay the vegetable owner person thing. Yeah. So I'm feeling crestfallen that she's lost the rabbit. Alice sees a bead on a string in its place, so a little curious as to what it is. So as Alice continues to make her way towards school, admiring the little bead on the string, she starts to look at the silver lining in the clouds, hoping that she will see the bunny again, and she's glad that she actually got to talk to Kyo, who apparently vowed to find the bunny for her. I'm sorry, from a love interest standpoint, this is why I started to like this guy. I mean, he came off as a nice guy, supportive, making sacrifices, what a lot of people expect from a male love interest. Let's move on before I go any further into this. So on our next page, Alice is recalling how she first came across Kyo in his archery practice class, recalling how she felt about his aesthetics. There's a joke in here, but I'm not gonna make it. And of course, in this little recollection of how they first met, one of the catalysts for the first encounter was the fact that Alice got hit by a badminton bird before tossing it back, before proceeding to get hit again and again. Why are they doing this? Well,
you've been kind for far too long, my dear. Time to be cruel.
So having seen enough of this nonsense, both Mayura and Kyo decide to step in and stop the first years from picking on Alice before it gets worse. To which we're treated to a display of what kind of older sister Mayura is. The older, protective, I will beat you up over picking on my little sister sort. Groovy. And to which Mayura notices a bruise on Kyo's hand, which causes Alice to nearly mention where he got it from before he reminds her to keep quiet about it, before returning back to archery class and making a little sarcastic jab at Mayura's inability to show up on the proper days of archery class. See? Told you he was a human character. And it only gets better from there as opposed to worse. Much like another character I keep alluding to in this thing. Next page! So, of course, in this little recollection now, Alice laments and how it seems that Mayura and Kyo are so close. They must have the greatest relationship, and how she's just known as Mayura's little sister. She comments on how she's used to it, but if you ask me if she was, she wouldn't mention it. But that's just me. Cut back to present day, and we see Alice marbling at the pretty red stone while glossing over the picture of Kyo before her sister barges into her room with a delightful smile on her face. Mayura wants to to see which one of the presents she purchased for Kyo for his birthday it would be best to give him the following day. And she also wants to share a little something special with him. To which Alice has a little statement she likes. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a question. She asks Mayura if she's in love with Kyo Wakamiya. To which Miura says yes, as Alice is lamenting to herself as how her sister is so open, social, and very, very beautiful. I'm sorry, but I feel I need to voice a little something for a minute. Her? Prettier than you? Ha! You're twice as cute as she is. I'm sorry, but I just happen to have a taste for the shy types. Aside from assertive tomboys who know what they're doing, but let's move on. The following day, Kyo decides to talk to Alice and mention how he seeks to improve his efforts to find her bunny. Hey, does she appreciate this? I guess. So as Kyo tries to liven up Alice's spirit, she starts to wonder why on earth he's so kind to her, despite the fact that it's like they barely know each other. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's because he likes you. Let's continue. So as he makes his way to elsewhere, Alice asks for him to wait as she has the words, those ever so meaningful words, stuck in her throat. Yes, she wants to confess her love for him, but she can't quite bring herself to do it because she's nervous and shy and... She can't do it. What could she do? Oh, and before Alice can get a single word out, Mayura jumps in, hoping to give Kyo his birthday present for the day. To which Alice wishes Kyo a happy birthday before taking her leave and giving her sister a vote in confidence. To which Mayura gives Kyo the birthday present and confesses her feelings to him in the process. Here comes the part that shocked and broke me. So, bottle ready? Proceed. Alice breaks down in tears, calling herself a coward. She laments on the fact that it was just 3 simple words and she couldn't bring herself to say it. 3 little simple words that could have caused her to express how she feels about a guy. And she wishes that she had more courage. I've had several moments before where I wanted to confess how I felt about some person and never had the guts to say it, so I guess you all can can get a better idea as to why I enjoy this manga, or it's one of my favorites. I can relate to the main character who's a girl. I'm gonna go hang myself now. So, she wishes she had more courage while a small, still voice says that she has it, or in this in particular translation, it says that she handled it poorly. Alice looks atop Tokyo Tower to see a small white bunny that leaps from the tower and appears before her in the form of a little girl with bunny ears and feet. Nope. Smells like Kool-Aid. Wow. I guess we should proceed. So I'm marveling at what the heck she's seeing. Alice finds it weird to see a talking bunny girl, and how does she choose to handle this?
Run.
Like a bat out of hell, she runs for her life. That's how freaked out she is. Oh, and by the way, the bunny, his name is Neo Zeka. Will Alice be able to find her courage? Will she be able to confess her feelings towards Kyo? How will her sibling react to all this? And what exactly is this talking bunny named Neo Zeka, as well as her plans for Alice? I'm not gonna tell you. You're just gonna have to stay tuned to when the next time I have to finish this review.